Hey, how y'all doing? All right, this is gonna be a little story time um about how things in my life right now are happening over again. Like, and the people that are doing it, um, they mad about something. They mad because they're miserable. Is what is what I figure they are. So I've been with been with this man on and off for about like I want to say about like 8 or 9 years, and throughout the time in the process, I've noticed that he's a narcissist, and I'm just now even coming to realize what that is. I live now here in Indianapolis, Indiana, right, and so living here, I've seen more of it. Like I'm like able to verify it because of certain type of things that's been going on, like certain type of videos I've been seeing. Like people been a woman, her name is hold on, give me a moment, I'm gonna look at my phone real quick. Her name on TikTok, I was starting to see.
We are so grateful that we could just do our taxes.
Her name is Spiritual Whistleblower. Shout outs to her. Girl, your videos have really brought some, when I say shit I was already feeling in my spirit and my soul, your videos literally, like, they've been you the shit. I don't know how you even came through your experiences that you had in life. I was gonna say I don't know how you even became to know this, but then I just realized, like you said it, like through your experiences that you had while growing up on learning this shit that you've learned, continuing to learn, continue to be yourself, stick up for yourself. Girl, I just feel like you the one. Shit, you ain't the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You the one, and you doing the thing, and I appreciate you because you pointing out shit that needs to be pointed out. And when I posted your video, let me just tell you something. I had a whole bunch of people probably looking at that video, because that ain't my first time posting some of your videos, but I had a whole bunch of people that's some kin to me looking at those videos and probably like, is this bitch talking about me? Girl, they showed up to the job and everything. Anyways, back to the video. So this video is basically going to be about my narcissistic husband. Like I said, I've been with this man for about 8 or 9 years. I want to say 8 or 9 years, and we just got married, and we got married because of me, right? So when we first got together, we were younger. I was like I just had turned 16, and he was 17, and I'm gonna just be honest with you. I was so tired of having my virginity. I was ready to give it away. I know, like, red flag, like, why, you know what I'm saying, why nobody was teaching you this, that, and the third. Let me just say, I grew up in, like most people, in places that where they're teaching you, but they're teaching you by experience. So you watching what they're doing, and either you decide that you're gonna go through that or you ain't gonna go through it. You know what I'm saying? And as you get older, you start to make decisions basically for yourself. um so I basically grew up in a family that's like, I would say, for me, it was like a little bit toxic. Not a little bit, it was all the way, like a lot of people on welfare, you know what I'm saying? Just like how everything is with the system and things of that sort, but wanting to be on welfare, like drinking, partying. You know, the kids go to school, but then they're getting in trouble, they're fighting. I'm the only one that graduated. Not that that's like some big accomplishment or anything like that, because I ain't do nothing but sticking to a school, and while I was in there, I felt like I really didn't learn anything, but learned some things, like basically to shut up, listen to the teacher, do shit that I ain't even dealing with now that I'm out of school. I'm not even doing half of the shit that I learned while I was in school. But y'all, the people who have kids, y'all, hey, that's you send your kids to school. You know what I'm saying? I understand you get, when your kids don't go to school, the truancy people, the CPS people, America's fucked up. Let's just say that. Let's just end that cap with what I was just saying, that America's fucked up, and due to a whole bunch of circumstances, that helped push a narrative onto my people that aka my family, made them choose and make decisions that really wasn't good for nobody but themselves. My mom got pregnant when she was 15 and had me. Her and my dad was 15. I think my dad was 16, my mom was 15, and then she had me when she was 16. Then my dad was probably 17 or whatever the fuck. Anyways, too young to be having some kids like most children. Babies having babies type of shit. I grew up with my mom, seeing her make mistakes. I make mistakes. Nobody perfect, all that good stuff. Anyway, so while I was 16, I was trying to lose my virginity, and I finally found this person. I'm like, okay, well, I got to get to know him and things like that. I will want him to be my boyfriend. So basically, I started courting him in a sense of what that sounds like now. So I started courting him, or whatever the case may be, and he was a nice, cool dude. He was friendly and all of the other type of stuff. At first, he was nice. He would buy me food. We would walk from school to, from home to school together. All that other good type shit, All before I got to see his real side. He'd let me use his MP3 player. It was like love. But we started off as friends first. We didn't start off like in a relationship type thing. And we met during the summer of, I want to say like 2010. I want to say 2010. We met during the summer of 2010. That's when my mom moved over to, I think they call it the North Side. I think it's called the North Side where I'm from. I'm from Ben Harbor, Michigan, but we call it the North Side or whatever the case may be. Anywho, so I've been with this man since then and I did end up giving him my virginity. I've been with that man since, like I said, for on and off about like 8 or 9 years, right? I made some videos before I left him, because when I left him, I moved over here into, I was living in Carriage House West, and then I moved over here to Scarborough Lake. Way worse than Carriage House, way worse. What happened? So I was going on about how he's a narcissist. I have ADHD, so it's going to be time to times where I kind of get away from the point, but then I hop back on it. So me and him have been together for like 8 or 9 years, but I didn't notice the narcissism until about like, I want to say a year or two ago. That's my dryer. Until like a year or two ago, right? So we was together. We was together, and he would do a whole bunch of stuff that I'm like, it's so questionable. Like, he act like he can go do stuff, but I can't go do stuff, like, shit like that. And I'm like, yo, he need to chill out. Like, he can go somewhere with his friends, and I go somewhere with my friends, and he like, I don't want to go over there, do this, then a third, but he'll want to go like do stuff with his friends and not want to be around me type shit. At first, we used to be glued to the hip together. Like, I lost my virginity to him. He said that I was his first, supposedly, and so we was glued. When I say we was glued together like yin and yang, we was together like cat and dog. If you ever seen that show before, that's how we was inseparable, really. After that, after I lost my virginity to him, but I waited like, I think I want to say 6 months or so before I gave up my virginity to this man. This young man at the time, he was 17, I was 16. Legal, by the way, it was legal. But then it was, the time I started noticing his narcissism was, that I could remember, is when I was in school, and I didn't want anyone to know, and I told him the reason why, but to him it seemed like we were hiding our relationship, which we were, but he knew that's exactly what we were doing, because if we had to hide it from everybody, because I was then trying to tell my family members, my cousins, them, that I had a boyfriend, because I felt like they were going to beat him up, and I wasn't wrong. Like, they was totally disrespecting him on a whole totally different level. I had him so scared to meet my mom. I had him so scared to meet my mom. He he ended up throwing up type thing. Like, he was so scared he threw up. I was like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Run, like, get away from me type. Like, I had him scared as fuck. I'm like, damn, because I don't want her to know too. She nosy as fuck. Like, it ain't like she be telling me everything. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, that same day that I told him to run or whatever the case may be, my aunt was following us, had been following us probably for I don't know how long, but like was following us. I'm like, what the fuck type of, these people's real deal up here loose. No cap. I swear to you, like, I can't make this shit up. Okay, anyways, so back to the point of how I found out he was narcissist type. So I was basically wanting nobody to know because of all the stuff that happened, right? That was coming up to happen. Because I'm like, at first we was just friends, and then I gave him my virginity. But then, like, I would break up with him on and off, like, break up he passed gas in front of me, I broke up with him type shit. Like, I was like, you farted? Like, I'm like, you farted? You passed gas, like, in front of me? Like, I was immature. Let's just say that. I was immature, and now I'm mature. And now I'm just noticing all the narcissistic shit. Like, growing up knowing the type of person that I gave myself to this person and all the stuff, not realizing all the baggage he was going to have as well. My aunt used to say, oh, he's the enemy. He's the enemy. He's the enemy. And I'm like, he's the enemy? Like, what are you talking about? Like, this my boyfriend, how he the enemy? Like, I ain't get it. I ain't understand. I understand now. And not only is he the enemy, so is motherfuckers inside my family. Because they say it be the ones closest to you. I ain't even close to these motherfuckers, and that's how I know they ain't the ones. Period. Do you hear me? I should have been given up for adoption. I shouldn't have been had. Cause y'all ain't getting I am not bringing no kids into this world. That's how fucked up these people are. I would not bring any kids into this world because of how fucked up my family dynamics and the man that I'm married to right now, his family dynamics, and how he narcissistic and misogynistic and go along with what everybody else be doing and saying. I would never in my life have no fucking kids. Do you hear me? Anyways, he's misogynistic. Like, he was nice and everything at first, but now he's not. Like, he's a whole, like, mask off, totally different person. The first time I noticed it was when, that I can recall, I was about to give you a time when we was in school and we were telling people that we were, but I'm gonna go to the very first beginning now that I remember. Me and my friend, I'm not gonna drop her name, but me and my friend, right? She was on that side of town, and I had met back up with her. She had left or something. She used to be in and out of foster homes and stuff like that. And a whole bunch of stuff had happened to this young lady. She was a troubled child, as some people would say, right? So me and her would go to the library, and then around the time where me and my husband was friends, we were just friends at that time. Like, I was thinking about courting him. I hadn't totally made up my mind, but then it became like a group of us so fast. So then it was like me, my husband, my friend, and this dude that started coming to the library. And then he brought his little brother that was foster little brother or whatever the case may be. So all of us became like close. We all became good friends. So it was like my friend had my husband, and I had the other dude that started coming, and then we switched. But before we switched, this is what happened, right? They had had sex, my friend and my husband, right? This is what I think happened. And then supposedly they found out they were cousins and then cut it off. What I think happened is that my friend was known for giving it up. Like, she was known for giving it up. No offense. She was known for that, though. She was known for giving the cat up because of what happened to her when she was a child. So, you know what I'm saying? But she was known for that. Like, but I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't care at the time because I'm like, hey, I wasn't going with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't really thinking about pursuing them until after we became friends. But I was like, knew I wanted to give my virginity up to somebody. And I'm like, I don't care if my friend messed around with him or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to choose him to do it. Because there can't be nobody that's going to be like telling the whole world that I done gave my virginity up. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I need somebody that's going to be quiet. But he wasn't really quiet because then all his friends wanted to freak me in. And I had to notice that he told and said something. Anyway, so afterwards, they found out they were cousins, supposedly. His mom, my husband's mom, was like, yeah, there's some kin to each other, this, that, and the third, right? That's the instance that I'm referring to where I figured that he was a narcissist / toxic and his mom was the enabler, right? I figured his mom was the enabler when his brother would steal stuff and she would say he didn't, and I would have proof that he did. Because she knows she didn't buy it, and he'll lie and say somebody else did, and then I'll have those people come and say he was the only one that was there. How did you get my stuff? You ain't come give it back to me knowing that it was mine, and I've showed you that this was mine type shit. And she would say, my son ain't do that. She would look at you dead in your eyes. Do you hear me? Look at you dead in your fucking eyes and say that shit ain't true. And I'm like, how the fuck, looking at my friend at times, like, how the fuck do you deal with this shit? He like, I can't stand his ass either. He used to get me in all kind of trouble when I was fucking little. Like, I don't like him or my mama type shit, right? But I knew she was an enabler, right? But I didn't know to the extent of how much of an enabler she was. So this is how, now that I'm older, this is some of the instances where I noticed that she's an enabler and that she does the shit that she does. And why he is the way he is. So his father was not around, right? I'm not giving these as an excuses. I'm just telling you how I noticed the narcissism. So his father wasn't around, but he used to stay with his grandma a lot. And never really used to be with his mom. And on occasions that he did, she was sending him to his grandma's because she ain't have enough room for him and all of that other type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like really fucked up situations. Basically, I can relate. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to have to go to my dad's house because my mom didn't have enough, you know what I'm saying, to give to all three of her children that she popped out her vagina. But his mom was like, yeah, they're cousins, this, that, and the third, right? If y'all cousins, my husband, before he was my husband, he was my boyfriend. I ended up asking my boyfriend / husband at the time. I ended up asking my husband a while back before we were married if the friend that we all used to hang out with, that him and her used to date, that I know for sure had to have sex with each other, if she could come move in, right? When she came and moved in, he asked to watch us mess around with each other. And I'm like, you gonna watch your cousin mess around with your girlfriend? And you mean to tell me that ain't... And then I remembered that one day his mom told me, my husband's mom told me, that this man was her cousin, and then he left coming out of her room zipping up his pants. Zipping up his fucking pants. The same lady that said that was her cousin gave an excuse for her son and said that my friend and him were cousins, and laid out a whole outline of how they was cousins and shit like that, and then proceeded to try to make me believe that my friend and him were cousins and that their family and shit like that were cousins and shit like that. Like, really going to bat so that I would stay in a relationship with this boy. Because that's what he was probably asking his mom to do. Because he did not want me to break up with him again. Because I used to break up with him on an occasion if he would do some crazy shit. The second instance is when we were in school and he knew the reason why we weren't telling anyone that we were going together. And then I'm like, okay, if we ain't going together, because he told this girl that I figured he liked or some shit, he was like, nah, right? You know what I'm saying? Trying to get back at me because I wasn't telling people that we were going together. And then I ended up getting drugged down the hallway by my hoodie. It wasn't even my hoodie. I think I had stole that hoodie. I think somebody left it somewhere and I took it because I used to be cold in school or whatever the case. This is how we ain't really this. I come from the hood. We ain't really too much have shit, and I could have had a lot of shit, but due to some situations, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers not giving a fuck about the person that they brought into this world, we had to go through a lot of shit because, you know, that's just what majority people have to go through. When you poor, you don't have everything. So shit that you getting is either stolen or whatever the fuck. Somebody done lost it. Somebody done got into a fight. They left it and that bitch was dirty and whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. That's how I used to get my shit. Majority of my shit. And then when I got older, I started stealing. Neither here or there, but back to the situation on hand. So those are some of the situations where I noticed that he was a narcissist, where it began. And it first started with his mother. So I'm like, if she's like that, he's like that, right? So with that being said, he ended up, I noticed now that he's doing a whole bunch of shit now. Right, I can give you an instance. He was going out with these motherfucking children, going to this dude house named and how my family backs them up with certain shit. You know what I'm saying? They mad at me. Oh, they trying to I'ma show you type of shit. This is these motherfuckers. I'ma show, which is why I don't fuck with these motherfuckers at all. Really at all. I don't call nobody. I don't talk really to nobody. They call and talk to me. I don't call them. I don't talk to them unless they call and talk to me. That's the only how I have communications with these people. That should tell you something. I don't communicate with these people. Want to talk to me, but when they go to talk to me, they always on some funny acting shit. Like I'm gonna record some shit. Literally, one day, I'm gonna download Messenger back onto my phone, and then if my family calls the group chat, I'm gonna record what the conversations we be having. I'm gonna record it and then I'm gonna post it and say these are some of the situations that happen. I literally, to prove my point, to get why I don't fuck with these people, why I don't fuck with a lot of people, because a lot of people be hurt and hate to unlearn the toxic shit that they have learned throughout the time that the white people have trained y'all to know, and y'all act just like what these white people that trained y'all to act and be this way. And that's just the bottom line. And if you know, you know. If you woke, you woke. But other than that, I don't fuck with motherfuckers because of situations that I've known since I was younger. Anyways, back to my husband. He's fucking toxic and narcissistic, and he's a man whore. He tries to get me to be jealous of multiple women, like does shit, probably done slept with multiple people. I slept with one person while we were on break, and this nigga will not let it go. He literally brings up shit that happens that happened while I was in college. He'll bring that shit up right now, and he's literally done shit literally like 2 weeks or a month ago, and won't even own up to it. Type of narcissistic type shit. And this motherfuckers out here that act just like him. So when I say he ain't shit, and I know y'all like, why you marry him? To watch him, so I can record what he does and put it on the internet. I don't care how many views it get. I'm gonna continuously post it. I'm gonna make short videos so that it's able to fit up on my social media account, but this is going to go up on my YouTube. But I'm gonna make short videos of situations that happen, and this shit that's all happening right now happened before, and he's lying to my face, literally trying to tell me that this shit has not happened. And there's literally people who live here in Indianapolis, Indiana, who's going along with it. Which means that it's not just him. It's the other motherfuckers as well. Like, we used to work at this Domino's, and this motherfucker trying to tell me that we haven't. And I'm like, bitch, you gotta be out of your motherfucking mind if you think I believe you or anything that you say when I know for a fact you a known liar. Like, you lies, my nigga. Like, about everything. You don't know how to... You lie about everything. Everything. Because you a bitch. Like, honestly. And you misogynistic. On top of you being misogynistic, you weak. You're weak. Only weak people does the weak shit that you do. I'm sorry to say it. Only weak people do the shit that what my husband does. Only weak people. Only weak people. And then you know what thing they hate to happen? You know what they hate for you to do to somebody? Is to call the police and have their ass locked up for the shit that they do. Right? Especially if they being physical. They like, oh, you called the police and oh, you the ops. But these niggas be ops telling the whole world can't keep your fucking mouth shut. Don't know how to even handle yourself realistically. Y'all the fucking ops. Every time somebody gets to arguing and you yelling to the top of your lungs, y'all the fucking ops. You a whore, you this, that, and the third, somebody beat your ass, you said this, be lying. Sometimes be capping through the whole, majority of the time be capping. You trying to make people jealous, like trying to make your spouse jealous. Bitch, you're weak. You weak. You weak in every sense. You weak in every sense. I don't care what nobody say. You gotta be one of the weakest people in the world. And along with some of these other men. Y'all weak as fuck. Y'all weak as fuck. Cause then y'all can't even last in prison. Y'all be begging for somebody to send y'all some money. Y'all will be in there starving, getting fucked in the ass. Like not having shit. Fucking over people who really was out here helping your goofy asses. Like literally weak. Do you hear me? Weak. But then be wanting to come and lay up with a bitch that you don't even like nor respect, but just want to come lay up and try to make somebody feel miserable because you miserable. You're weak, bro. You know how weak you is? You know how weak you are. WEAK. You're weak. You know how weak you is if you can't stand on your own 2 feet and you always need somebody to help you stand up. You can't get your own shit. You need to realize what the fuck is going on and wake the fuck up. Maybe if you wake the fuck up, you wouldn't be so fucking miserable. Maybe if you stop letting people get into your ear and use you in the worst way and not think of your best intentions, maybe you'll actually be somewhere in fucking life. Maybe. Just maybe. But until then, you weak. And my husband, unfortunately, is weak. And I'm going to give y'all a couple descriptions and some small videos on my Instagram page. I'm going to start posting them. I'm going to start posting all of it. I just got to watch the rest of them to see if I'm name dropping people. So, you know what I'm saying? People be mad. Oh, she said this and she said that. Oh, well, I said what I said and it happened to me. So if I name drop you, I'm going to just think, if I name drop you, oh, well, you the one that had interactions with me. So your name going to get dropped. And some of these people lucky that due to confidentiality purposes, I can't be telling all my information. But anyways, this motherfucker that I've married, that I only married to watch and to record all the shit that we do, all the shit that we go through, I'm putting him out here for the world to know, to see, cause he ain't shit, nor is he shit. I just can imagine the people who brought him into this world and how they actually is, and all the enablement and shit like that. I like commend you for taking up for your kids, but at the end of the day, if that's how these young men are, I wish the fuck I would bring any child into this world. I wish. I'm so happy that I can't have children. If I can, I ain't having none, but I'm happy that I ain't got none now. Cause why the fuck would I do that? Why the fuck, just for my kid to grow up and have to go through the same thing and motherfuckers be like, why you ain't got no kids, and study trying to bring it up as a conversation? Because I'm a pure example of why the fuck they shouldn't be here. I'm a good example. It's especially with all the shit that I be saying. I'm gonna stop this video and I'm gonna make another one and then I'm gonna post it.